Hello and welcome to the Photo Files. My name is Roger from Metcalf Photography. This channel is all about film and digital photography from a working professional's perspective. This episode is a film roll review, and today I am reviewing a roll of Ilford HP5 Plus. This is a black and white film, a classic black and white film, 400 speed, and the images on this roll are all toddler and family photography taken on the Canon EOS Elan 7 with the 50mm f1.0 L lens. I like having interesting lenses in my arsenal, and the 1.0 is the fastest 50mm lens with autofocus on any system. So these images are virtually all, if I believe all of them are taken wide open at f1.0. The 50 f1 can be pretty sharp when you nail the focus, but its resolution is not, amazing by modern standards. And so the older style films like HP5 Plus and Tri-X, these Delta grain films, they add a bit of perceived sharpness to things when you do nail it, and so that helps a bit. HP5 is a really great film for all-around use. It's a great film to just have in your camera if you don't know what's going to happen next, and that's what makes it a really good film for and so popular for street photographers, but it also makes it great for family photography. In family photography, things can be moving quickly, and you want to capture these special moments with kids or friends or family. And so a film like HP5 Plus, it's one of those films that you can really beat on it. You can get your exposure wrong and yet still end up with pretty good image quality. This first one, this is sort of I guess it's a candid portrait of Esme here, and she's got her popsicle, of course. I love the tones. I mean, one of the things about HP5 Plus and Tri-X and that style of black and white film is that you tend to get really deep shadows, and that was something that it can give your images a lot of punch pretty much right out of the gate. These are all scans from the darkroom.com. I've tweaked these all just slightly. I just made my own kind of brightness and contrast adjustments where I saw fit, but nothing major here. And of course, we see here the challenges of using the f1. My wife is in focus, so this may count as an image that's in focus, but can't deny when you at the right distances, the autofocus areas can really take on a nice quality. And does this image work since my daughter's not in focus? Probably not. But since my wife's eyes are in focus, maybe we can just say, sure, that's what I meant. Nothing's in focus here, so yeah. What does one say about this image? I did not nail it, did I? Okay, so here are some more. I think there's 4 of these in this series. I always shoot kind of as if I were a photojournalist, and so I usually take a number of shots in any given situation. I burn film like it's a bodily function. And so, and I'm also essentially focus bracketing in addition to toddler bracketing, because toddlers are difficult subjects. Mine is so used to being photographed that she works with me, I would say, more than most likely do. But, as you can see here, I may have gotten something in focus, but it wasn't what I intended. So this one's nice, I think. And this I do, we've got focus on the eyes. Again, you've got the lovely, just the shadow that HP5 can do, and the grain. It really is, such a pretty film. And especially, with black and white, what you really get to play with are all the tones. And so when you find spots like this is by a window, where you can use the window light to light the subject, then you can just have this really great fall off. And again, at the right distance, this is pretty close to minimum focus distance for the f1. It's not super close, and so this one works. Also not bad. This is again, it's interesting because these images are from a couple of years ago, and with kiddos, it the way you experience them, it really changes when as they continue to grow. Not bad here. I think I may have overlooked this one before. But this captures a nice expression, and again, this one, it's like, well, what can you say? I love her so much, It's probably yeah, probably better expression here. Slightly less in focus, but hey, I'm working on trying to collect the images of her from her different stages of growth, and you could certainly see this making its way into a book for that or something. And nope. And again, you see, even if I had got this in focus, like what am I really saying? Yeah, nope. And not even close. So here we did get focus. Some nice lines. This was actually my own pony riding toy as a kiddo, and so it's always kind of emotional seeing your kid play with your childhood toys and enjoy it. It's a trip. Again, you see how easily you can miss with this particular lens. I mean, and I go into it knowing that I'm not. I mean, I as a professional and a newspaper photographer and a journalist, there's always been this sort of idea that if 10% of your shots work, then that's kind of what you're aiming for. That's like it's like batting 300 in baseball. And I tend to do quite a bit better than that, but that doesn't mean that every roll, is going to have 10% good shots and the rest are not going to be good. Sometimes you nail an entire roll and it's all great, and then you've got five rolls that are all duds. And so I think it's important to remember that whatever you're striving for in terms of a hit rate, it's probably not going to be evenly distributed across all of your rolls, and it's going to be, some rolls are better than others. Yeah, it's just almost in focus, isn't it? But hard to figure out what's going on here. So this one we got, yeah, I mean, I'd say it's in focus enough. I don't know if this image really does anything for me or not, but that's the thing about the 50f 1.0. If you get an image in focus, you're like, all right, it's a big victory. But just getting an image in focus doesn't mean that it's worth anything. And as much as I love my kiddo, it's like I don't know, it's fine. This is a good example of why you should always wipe off your kid's face before you take pictures of them if you have a chance. You can certainly remove some of this stuff digitally, but when they've got crud on their face or that kind of stuff, it doesn't translate into good photography sometimes. So not bad. This is a little. I don't love where the tones are in this. I don't love. She's not lit enough. Her hat's too bright. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the way the tones are distributed here. But kind of a cute expression. It's okay. Not, yeah, don't, that's not going to be on any advertisements for child hats, is it? Yep. So this one, however, I quite like this. So there's 3 images in this series here. This is at the park once we're out. Could still use without the, kind of the various snots and whatnot on her below her nose, but I can clean this up. But this is a pretty good example of where HP5 is a nice choice, and because you've got just such a nice variety of tones and textures here. Kind of cool. You can that you can see the brick that she's holding. The plane of focus is right there. And you've got this nice detail. That I love the white HP5. One of the things, I think it's really strong in the whites, and I've always liked how it renders them. This is probably a better image than the last. Hard to say. Is it somewhat more artistic? Maybe. I mean, what is she looking at? The downfall of our society? Who knows? Is it or maybe it's a puppy? You never can tell. But this would probably be better if you could see her shoes. I have a real issue. I am really bad personally at getting shoes on the shot all the time. Because I'm always looking for sort of the heart of the image and getting the, I don't know, just being so focused on the subject that I tend to push in and let the extremities fall off. But I mean the range of tones here. So you look down at her legs. I mean it's pretty. The way the gradients kind of work out. It really is nice, and I love the blacks and the really dark tones in these are great. Again, I would need to Photoshop out the snot, but once I did that, I think we may have something. And then this one is really funny, I think, and so this, as a father, this one really works for me, and I enjoy it. Just because boy, do I know that expression. Okay, so here we are by a fence and getting on this car. Hey, she's looking at me and she's in focus, so I think for toddler photography, that's a win. Um, this would have been great if it were in a sharper focus, but it's certainly it's acceptable. And I'm really not a focus snob. I just like I'm not someone who needs maximum resolution or maximum sharpness at all the time. But when you can tell that that focus has been missed, it's hard for me to not see that as as an error. I think it is. It doesn't mean the photograph can't be good, but it would be better if it were in focus. This one's in focus. Again, what's she looking at? Who knows? But it's a nice scene. I love the black fence and how the rendering kind of gets weird due to the wide open aperture. And I was shooting this at a slight angle, so that I could get the plane of focus across as much of that car and her as I possibly could. Yeah, not the face I'd be looking for. Yeah, could be great. But with like super contrasty films like this, it's like they're usually very forgiving in a lot of ways, but sometimes they can be the contrast isn't always great for human subjects, and toddlers are borderline human subjects. Okay, yes, of course, the swing. We all must get a photo of our child on the swing and get it in focus for some reason. Didn't do it there. Didn't do it there. Kind of got it there. Not a bad shot. I mean, it'd be a lot better if her eyes were in focus. That's again the challenge of toddler photography, but it's not bad. It's certainly an enjoyable image, and if you put it in a book and made it small, maybe you wouldn't notice too bad that the wasn't in focus. And here we go. This is, the more and more I look at this image, the more I like it. I mean, again, it shows you just how shallow that focus is. I mean, her hand is not sticking out that far from her body, but her eyes are, certainly in the realm of acceptable focus and sharpness. And like the grain on this one and the nice patterns of back in the back and the light. Yeah. So again, it's funny, especially with with all photography, but especially photography of your kiddos. I think saving it and archiving it in a way where you can easily kind of go back and review it is great, because they grow up so fast, and it happens right in front of you so quickly, but also in such small ways that you don't always notice it, and so it's nice to be able to go back and look at these. Here we got focus. All right. Not bad, not bad. What's she looking at? Is it a sand pit? Is it a slide? It's a slide in this case. Not the most amazing expression ever, but it's all right. It's all right. And again, you got a child in focus, not screaming, not crying, and without too much crap all over her. So we're gonna call that a win. And this, I mean, tones are nice, grain is nice, but I'm just at the wrong angle. It's about the least flattering angle for her face, which is what we kind of care about. I'm someone who really tries to move around when I photograph things, and I'm always trying to find how do I want to present this subject, and this isn't how I would want to. But the challenge, the problem here, of course, is that with kiddos, they move so quickly, and when you're trying to just grab stuff, you sometimes end up with shots that are okay, but really don't necessarily speak to you or aren't really what you're trying to do. I think I would have liked to be a bit lower. Generally with kiddos, I try to be very much at their level or even below to try to elevate them and put us in their world as much as I can. And so I think this, you can tell that I'm above her a bit, and I really don't like shooting down on kids whenever I can possibly help it, because I think it's just, you've got to see them as their own beings and not these lower level creatures. But there we go. Ilford HP5 Plus, very very classic looking film. I mean, I don't love 35 millimeter is not my favorite format, but there's definitely a place for it, and I just probably would shoot it on, like shooting it on bigger formats. But what a great film. It really is. I mean, if someone told you you had to shoot HP5 Plus for the rest of your life, you'd be like, it's okay. Then no worries, mate. Thank you again for watching the Photo Files. The Photo Files are a production of Metcalf Photography, my photography company. Please check out my website if you need photography services in the New England area. And I also travel for clients. Thank you so much again for watching the Photo Files. In our next edition of the Photo Files, I will be going through a roll of T-Max 100 shot through the Pentax 17. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. And thank you again for watching.